Hi there, this is Jacklyn. I know I got a glare, but Jacklyn with Nickel and Dime Decor, and today I want to talk to you about putting on your binding 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch seam. It's such a big debate with people. To me, as I say in the video, it does not matter. It's your preference. One way is not right, one way is not wrong. I don't think there's any rules and regulations over it. I use a 1/4 inch seam to put my 2.5 inch binding on. Once it's folded, it's 1 1/4 inch. I put it on with a 1/4 inch seam. I put it on the back, turn it to the front. My front is a little wider than my back side. That doesn't matter to me. It's the ease and comfort and simplicity of doing it that I want to do. But I'm going to show you what a 3/8 and how much harder it is to turn it. You don't have any leeway whatsoever. And you turn that and you're kind of tugging and pulling. Your shoulders get tight. You do a whole quilt like that and you're spent. You are absolutely spent after you get it on. And I think that's why people struggle so with binding. But it make it so simple. That 1/8 of an inch difference between the widths, using a 1/4 inch seam on the back, turning it and ending up with almost, it's not a 1/2 inch, but it's between 3/8 and a 1/2 inch. Just what does it matter? So, all right, let's get right to it and let me show you what I'm talking. You're not going to be able to see my seam, but it's a 1/4 inch. It's in black thread, so it's going to be hard to see. But this is for example. I like to do the 1/4 inch, and let me show you why. Let's do some math, okay? You have a 2.5 inch strip that's folded and pressed. So what do we have? We have 1 1/4 inch to work with, okay? All right. When we do our seam here, a 1/4 inch, we've used up a 1/4 inch. So we have now 1 inch. 1 inch to work with. When you fold this over right here, you're using up another 1/4 inch to cover this 1/4 inch. We're down to 3/4, okay? Now we have 3/4 of an inch. This is on my wrong side, back side. You fold it over and you're going to be using another 1/4 inch to cover, to go over. But I like to extend mine right to the edge. If you put this right on your seam line and make another 1/4 inch, which they will match exactly, 1/4 and a 1/4, you've got all this space in between here. And over time, it flattens out and it doesn't look right. So, I like to wrap it around to the front and extend this, make this go right up against that nice full edge so that it's full right there, and wrap it around, and it's a 1/2 inch. That is a 1/2 inch seam. Then when I sew, I use decorative stitches, so I don't have to worry about doing a straight line and it looking gosh awful over here and hit and miss and going every which way. So I usually use a serpentine stitch. And I can go from inside to outside to inside and like that and cover it all. So that part, I know for you perfectionists that think it should be the same width on each side, you can do that. You can make a 1/4 inch seam here and do that just fine. I don't like it. I don't like all of that space in there. When I fold it over, it is a 1/2 inch on one side, a 1/4 on the other. I don't care. This is my back side. I don't care what it looks. Do you think anybody is going to turn it over and measure? Heavens, no, they're not going to do that. But, like I say, if you're a perfectionist and that bugs you, then your next step, and we'll do it in a minute, is to do a 3/8 inch seam. Then you've got it. You can do both sides the same width easily. But it's tight. It is hard to sew because you're always pulling, trying to get it over. And it's hard on the shoulders. And when you're doing a binding, you got a lot of sewing to do. So I say, make it easy on yourself. This is measured exactly 1/2 inch. This is a 1/4. Well, it's actually 3/8. Yeah, it really is. It's actually 3/8. So what does it matter if this is one slight ever bit bigger? But I'm going to sew this now, just to show you my stitch. I have got this on backwards, so I'm going to have to start up here when I turn it. And I don't know, on my machine, on this little bitty machine, I have forgotten which is which. So you know what? I'm just going to do a zigzag. So I'm going to put my foot right on the edge of my binding, because I don't know exactly how wide this is, zigzag is. If I was on my big machine, I would use the serpentine stitch. For sure and for certain. But I'm not. And this makes, yeah, this goes right down the middle. Okay, I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. Let me do a little bit more. This little old machine sounds like a, oh, it sounds like it's really laboring, but it's a workhorse. All right, let me go backwards just a little bit. There's my zigzag. It's a big fat one, big fat zigzag, but it's fine with all of my other decorative stitches on here. It works good. I have not gone all the way to the edge, so my edge is not caught. If you want to go closer over there, you'll have to put your foot just on the other side. I put it even with this, but you'll have to put your foot on the other side a little bit if you want it closer. I think that's fine. I think that's just great. Like I say, you can use the serpentine stitch. I could use, but when you use something more dense like this, it's hard on your binding because it, you know, it moves around, and it, you want an easy stitch, a simple stitch. So this zigzag is going to work great. Now let's look and see what it looks on the back side. You see how it's caught right here on the edges, and that's what I like on the back side. I like the way that it catches it just like that. I hope you can see. I know it's black thread and you can't hardly see it. But, and another thing why I like it is it flattens the binding. It flattens it out. If that's not the look you want, then just do it with the same simple old straight stitch. But I find that this hides every flaw that you might have. It isn't going to show. Like this zigzag is not, it's just not going to matter. Not going to matter at all. Okay, now next we will seam 3/8 inch. 3/8 inch. Now when I fold this over, I want to show you what difference that makes. It makes a tremendous amount of difference. I know a lot of people love to do their 3/8 inch, and more power to them. But I don't like to make a job hard on myself. And this is such a tight squeeze. You're going to have trouble covering your seam. You just, I mean, you have to pull and you have to tug. And I think it sometimes can distort your binding. I think that's why people have trouble with their binding, is using a 3/8 inch seam. Makes it so hard. And to me, yes, look, it is the almost exact same on both sides. You have eliminated that extra 1/8 of an inch on one side or the other, but my word, for the convenience of sewing, when you pull this around, you just have to hold on for dear life and hold it and fold it And my hands are so tired of tugging and pulling, and my neck and my shoulders hurt. So that's why I want to show you. Why not do the 1/4 inch and have the relaxation, if you want to say that, in your binding. Yes, it's a little different on both sides. But my goodness, it's so easy. So easy. And this, you're going to, well, just imagine having to hold so tight and tugging and pulling all the way around a quilt. Now, I know a lot of you is going to differ with me, and that's okay. That's the beauty of quilting. I say it doesn't matter. Your way is right, my way is right. Make it the easiest on yourself. Use a 1/4 inch seam, put it on the back, turn it over, do a decorative stitch where you don't have to worry about where your stitches hit. See, there is not a stitch off of the binding over here. See, it's all on the binding, on the back side. And that's what I like. If it catches over here, it's okay. I mean, it's no big deal, but I like it to be all on the binding part, my stitching. I hope that makes sense to y'all. I mean, I try, beginning sewing, I try to make everything so simple, and that's why I just think you'll do yourself a much better service to yourself if you'll use a 1/4 inch seam to put your 2.5 inch binding on. Remember, it becomes 1 1/4, and there is a difference on both sides, but to me it does not matter. It's the convenience and the ease of putting it on that counts the most. I don't know of anybody that's going to take a ruler, tape measure, whatever, and measure to see if my two sides are the same. I know my sister's not going to. She won't know the difference. Alrighty, that's just my little tip for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless. Alright, here's my 3/8 inch stitch. Didn't do but just a little tiny bit. But once I pulled it over to the right side, it is almost exactly the same as on each side. And that's using a 3/8. If that is important to you, that it be almost equal on both sides, use a 3/8. If it's okay with you to have this on the front and this on the back, you use a 1/4 inch. It's up to you. Thank you for watching. God bless, and I hope you're safe from all of the hurricanes and the devastation. God bless you. Bye.